That's the doorbell at Jimmy's house. Now, when you come to my house, my doorbell sounds like this.
Radio United.
There, I came in at the right spot again. Hello, people of the world, and hello, Canadian Glenn.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Good thing I called you Canadian Glenn. I was going to do the alternate universe and say, good afternoon, Glenn Best Buds.
No.
That would have made me Canadian Tim.
That's premature, man.
Yeah, I know.
Conceptual, unlikely, but yeah, okay.
Yeah, I don't know, man. This world sucks, and Canada's the only beacon of light in it.
Wow, that is a dim fucking beacon, I'll tell you that.
That was sarcasm to the people who didn't know.
Although
I'm just trying to get my level straight. I feel like I'm peaking, but I don't see it peaking.
Doesn't sound like it to me. Although yesterday was the longest day of the year in the Great White North, eh?
It was a long day.
Well, the official, where I live, the official numbers where we had between sunrise and sunset was 17 hours and 4 minutes. So, you want to talk about like black night. We had about not even 3.5 hours of black last night.
Wow.
Yeah. Go north.
North to the north to the north.
Now the days start getting shorter already.
Yeah, it's getting hotter already here. It gave us a couple of days of coolness. Now it's getting all hot again. That's why I got the fans and the window open. I don't know if you hear them through this awesome dynamic mic, but I hear them pretty loud.
Noise gate.
No, yeah, I could add one. I don't know why I don't.
No, I don't hear it much anyway.
Oh man.
But
so yeah, it's been a screwed up week. Another screwed up week. What's up?
How's that impending drought going in California? Like, do people finally get it or not?
No, people are gonna get it. People are selfish and greedy and stupid. I mean, if you remember the last time there was a drought, people were stealing water and overusing it and doing all kinds of crazy stuff. Some of these people were really wealthy, rich people doing it. Like Magnum P.I., and now he's in some propaganda show. What's his name?
Selleck?
Yeah, that fascist. I'm trying to get the tweet right now, but as everybody knows, I have a new Twitter account, so everything's just not like it used to be. But it's actually better.
Oh my God, change. How dare you? No, wait a minute. That's not the right message.
No, I like having a smaller account right now. I mean, there's a couple people I wish would follow me back that were awesome. But they're pretty big accounts and stuff, so whatever.
Do they even know that you have a new account, though?
That's the thing. They're so big now. Like, for instance, JB Ware. I mean, when I followed him, he didn't have any followers. Just like I didn't have any followers. Then I got up to like 3,000 or 4,000 or something, and he got up to 90 billion. I don't know however many he has. So yeah. And then some people, it's just like I don't even really know them. I just like follow them, and eventually they follow me back after so long. It's going to take a while. And there's like maybe 10 or 20 of these people. I don't care about anything else on the Twitter thing, man. It's nice not having so many trolls. It's nice not having a whole bunch of BS. I'm controlling it better now. You know who followed me is the city attorney who's trying to run for mayor, Mike Fuhrer.
Really?
Yes, I immediately blocked him. Immediately. I think I even put a tweet out and said something happened with my Twitter account, but I fixed it. It showed his follow, then the block.
Interesting.
Sorry, that's the reefer. You know, you don't watch Rick and Morty, do you? That's the one show I actually watch on TV.
No.
Yeah, and there's this character now that I really like, Mr. Nimbus. He had, you know what his superpower is?
Okay.
Well, he comes from the ocean. He can control water and fish and all that, I guess. But he has the power to control the police.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because like one of the characters like, I'm going to call the police on this guy. He goes, go ahead. I control the police. He goes, I'm really going to do it. And Rick's like, he really controls the police. And then the police all show up. They all got their guns out. Freeze. And he's like, fight. And they all start fighting. Then he goes, fuck. They all rip off their clothes and start fucking. Then he's like, flee. And they all run away. I was like, man, I want that power to control the police. There wouldn't be no police if I could control the police. But yeah, that's the fantasy part of today's show.
Indeed.
We could all be more like Mr. Nimbus. So yeah, no, man, so much bad stuff happened. Like I was saying before, William, always Film the Police LA, who I did a show with. He probably a lot of people know his son was shot. He was gunned down like last week, and it's been really tragic. I mean, obviously it's his son. It's tragic for their family and all that. And I don't really want to say too much about it right now because I don't know. I mean, you know, you can't. When a family's grieving and going through stuff and it's their family, you just kind of respect and help them with whatever they're doing at the time, right? So that's where I'm at with it. So I guess the police are looking for the suspects. And in my opinion, the police are being really evil right now. Some of them are using this to kind of say, ha, 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 see what it was without police. You know, but police wouldn't have saved nothing. Police did what they always do, show up afterwards and file some reports. So it's just a tragic thing. And really fuck everybody that's saying shit like that to him. I mean, I think a lot of people have been great. Most people probably have been great because he does a lot for the community, but I'm sure he has. I mean, he's not like me, which is good. And they're still writing on him, you know. If it was me, they'd be like, "Yo, good." And some people have said stuff like that, from what I hear. But yeah, he's a lot more respectful than I am toward the pigs. Like he even was saying stuff. It's not about defunding or abolishing or whatever. It's about reform. I don't agree with that, but I'm not going to have that debate now. A lot of cops are. I don't know what their motives are because, you know, I don't trust them. They're offering condolences and giving them calls. And, you know, if he wasn't who he was and he didn't have such a big following and it wasn't in the LA Times and Channel 7, I'm pretty sure the pigs wouldn't be talking about it or doing things to make themselves look good, because I know people that was murdered and the police didn't give a rat's ass. You know, the family could barely get any information about anything. And I know people that was murdered by the police and they was just mocked. Not too long ago, about a little over a year ago, my homie Freddie Brown murdered by Vegas PD. From what I hear, they've been terrible about it the whole time. He wasn't armed. I mean, the only thing he used was his arms. You don't shoot somebody for getting into a fight, you know? These cops put people in headlocks every single day. When the table is turned, they want to blow somebody away. So yeah, that's besides the point. But back to William's son Marcellus. Yeah, it's just a really messed up situation, and I don't know. I just wish the family the best, and I hope they get through this okay. And William don't seem to be wavering. He's still out trying to film the police and do whatever. But if y'all know him or follow him and think about all the stuff he's done for the community, cleaning up Hollywood, even if you don't live in L.A., he set goals that other people could follow in other places and do things to clean up their own communities. He's always helpful, so give him a shout out. They have a GoFundMe, donate. Do whatever you can do to make their lives a little easier at this time. That's what I think is necessary. And I'm kind of staying out of. I was gonna go off and lose my account again and go off on these pigs and the thing, but I'm just gonna stay out of it because I think more drama, more negativity isn't what he needs right now. You know what I mean? He's not me. He doesn't respond to things the same as the way I would. And nobody's me, obviously. So yeah, just respect the family, help them out, and if something's just abhorrent, call out the people that are saying horrible things. Usually ex-cops, cops, and quote-unquote famous cops, from what I've seen so far, and their supporters. But I mean, the man lost his son. Let him grieve. I don't know. I just hope everybody jumps in and gives them some kind of love and support right now, because that's what they need. I know I'm ranting. I don't even know where to go with this, Glenn, so I guess I'm going to end this on this subject, you know?
No, it's my turn now.
Yeah.
Well, of course, my condolences to William and his family. I think this is just another example of how quote-unquote policing does absolutely nothing about prevention, which has become basically, both sides of the fucking coin as far as urban policing goes. They do nothing to prevent crime in a tangible way that means anything. And then the result of that is more charges, more this, more that, more everything, more cops, more budget. This is just, it's a snowball of shit. That's what should be talked about. But what I will say is what pissed me off is Channel 7.
Yes.
They jumped on this to frame it right off the bat. It's almost like, oh yeah, we can use, like, is it possibly ratings week or something in fucking LA? Because for them to jump to that one specific angle of the whole thing is so on purpose. So,
well, of course. I mean, you've seen my videos when the media shows up after the pigs murder somebody at a protest. They go and they wait. They don't start talking to people on the streets or whatever. They go and they wait for the police official statement so they can put that out. That's what they do, man.
Yeah, that's it. But I just found it really ridiculous.
The pigs say it's gospel. That's how the mainstream media looks at it.
Yeah, which, guarantees they get access and they get thrown a bone once in a while to, create. I mean, it's just that it seems to me like as far as LA County and Southern California goes, all information is just advanced marketing. That's the environment that it's become. And it's pretty hard when you have the capital of propaganda within that area. Of course, they're going to have highly skilled shit put out to change local opinions. I mean, that's not the surprise. It's just that the surprise to me is considering what's been going on with the LA County Sheriffs and the LAPD, Echo Lake, Venice, Hollywood. There's been a lot of shit going on in the last little while. And then this happens, and immediately that's the angle that Channel 7 took. It's just really, really cheap bullshit.
Well, you know how I said I wasn't going to say anything else, but you know how I see it as an we told you so. You don't like cops. If there was cops, it wouldn't be like this. Well, that's not true. No. We've done nothing but give cops more funding and more funding and more funding, and it's still like this. I mean, the problem is everybody got guns everywhere. Guns is cheap. Guns is all over the place. Anyone get a gun, man. They all everywhere. I mean, I don't think you understand that here because you're in Canada. Like, literally. You don't have to go to a gun store. There's guns all up in the streets everywhere. So you got all these cats. They all got guns. They're all broke. And then everyone's going to scream black on black violence, whatever. There's like we went into that before, man. Violence is, it usually takes place in proximity. And if you live, and we're kind of a segregated society. So if you live in a white neighborhood and you're white, you probably do more white on white violence. If you live in an Asian neighborhood, you're probably Asian, you're going to do more Asian on Asian violence, and so on and so on.
Yep.
Because people live with people that are like them, and some people are violent. But the thing is, no matter what, I'm not paying for this person to murder somebody. My tax dollars aren't getting them their weapons. My tax dollars aren't doing anything. And eventually they're going to get caught or murked out in the street. Because that's how it goes. When a cop does something like this, they get rewarded, called a hero. The person, their victim gets demonized. And they keep their job 9 times out of 10, and they're back in the streets ready to kill again. There is a difference.
Well, it's human nature. If you get away with something and it's known that you did it and nothing happens, it's not exactly human nature to say, wow, good thing I missed the fucking price on that one. I'll never do that again. That's not how shit works. And like I said, like you just talked about, the main thing for me is nobody is saying a word about how these murders are preventable. What the fuck are the cops there for?
Yeah, well, what they say is, that's why we pull people over indiscriminately when they're black and check them for weapons. Hey, come on now. There's a lot of black people that carry weapons for protection.
Exactly.
There's a lot of black people carry legal weapons because they work in places that they have weapons legally. I mean, and in other states, everyone have weapons. So black, white, whatever, everyone have weapons. I'm talking about California. So the answer is to raise people better, to give people opportunities. I mean, we can go on and on about all the situations, but I mean, just look at all the, for instance, today it was McDonald's and some other place. We're not opening till later because we can't find workers. Oh my God, no one wants to work for us. That's part of the problem.
Yeah.
Cats can't go and get a job where they can survive and pay rent or even buy a place, anything. Even pay all their bills. Like we said last week, there's people that are working jobs that are homeless living in their cars. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So this is all the problem. You give people a bunch of guns, no money, and they're angry. What do you think's going to happen? I mean, there's gang situations, everything else, but I'm telling you, most of that has to do with, I'm from over there, man, not far from there. What was it, 102nd and San Pedro?
I think so.
Yeah, I mean, sheesh. 99th and May ain't that far. It's a different neighborhood, but and over there on the east side it's crazy because traditionally you got gang of hoods all in the same area. But every block or two will be a different neighborhood, and you got big hoods. You know what I mean? I'm not going to shout out names on here right now. But, you know, and then they're clicked up. So you could have enemies on the next block that hate you or hate anybody that lives on this block that affiliates with these people and stuff. And it all stems from the same things. People not having opportunity, poverty, people being told their shit all the time. People not even getting up to the starting line before the race. You know what I mean? They don't even get to the starting line. The race is already run, and they ain't at the starting line. What do you think's going to happen? It's set up like this, and it's disgusting. And it's been, I mean, I've lost so many people to the same bullshit. I almost lost me to the bullshit. I don't even know why I'm alive, man. I got so many bullet holes in me, it doesn't even make sense. Way better people than me's dead, and I'm shit, and I'm still here. So I don't even know, but that's just the way shit works, I guess. But yeah, it has nothing. It's these people are on the wrong page. They're all on the wrong page. You got you know, they need to filter some money down to the neighborhoods and give people, make sure nobody's starving, nobody's, you know, having to struggle. And then on top of that, then you're telling people you need this, you need that, you need all this expensive shit, but you're broke. How are people gonna get stuff, man? Crime. And when crime starts, all kinds of things happen. Innocent people get shot. People get mistaken identity. People get hit in crossfires of things, you know?
Well, I mean, I still can't get my head around the fact that I mentioned, probably about a month ago now, that the state of California has an $87 billion surplus. Spend the fucking money. What is going on?
Let me just, one more thing before we go off this, man. Because I think we, you know, I don't know. Like I said, you want to know what's happening, go follow Film the Police LA. Give them love and support and all that. But like his son, Marcellus, was really talented. He did music. He, you know, a lot of people I know just knew him. So, I mean, so he knew a lot of people. Like, I got little youngster homies that was hitting me up like, what's up, what happened, and how this happened. He was awesome, and they let me hear some of his music and see his videos and stuff. Super talented, man. As talented as anybody out there making money right now. It's tragic. And everybody loved him. So that was just weird how, you know, I start knowing people that knew Marcellus, and I never met him, but how I knew his father, just trippy, man. It's a small, small, small world.
And
so
it's
it's a tragic, tragic loss for so many reasons and for so many people, and this happens every day somewhere, all day, every day. That's why the people got to stop with the bullshit and unite. We have to educate the people, man. You have to take that anger and emotion and hatred and filter it to the right direction. Because hurting people just like us ain't getting us anywhere. We're the people. You know, I understand politics in the hood and all that, and I understand politics in the real world, and politics suck all the way around, you know? We need to be better than that. We need to, you know, we need to unite. We need to get these G's on the right page. Like, you're here to protect the people. That's what you was created for. And when I say you created, I mean the hood, not the people. You know what I mean? And it just went way left with COINTELPRO and the feds and getting into everything, and people get, you know, look up history of these gangs. A lot of them were revolutionaries back in the day, and then shit went all left somewhere. But yeah, man, it just needs to stop, and we need more people out there talking to people, educating people. Like Cats, I'm really thinking about having. I already talked to him. He's kind of going through some medical stuff right now. But this dude, Red Rum, he's some of y'all might know him if you listen to rap music a lot. He's the one that did a lot of those Crips and Bloods, banging on Wax albums back in the day, and he's done a lot of things for unity between gangs and truces and things like that. I was talking to him a few weeks ago about coming on the show, but he's going through a lot of physical stuff. He hurt his back and his leg. So yeah, I'm waiting for that to get better. We'd already talked before this even happened. We had talked, so I'm just thinking this is like, I need to have him on here because he's done so much positive stuff, and he's in the community still, handing out food and doing things, you know. And he's on the other side, the blood side of things. But I think it doesn't matter. If you're doing good things, it don't matter where you're from. It doesn't matter anything. And it's different now than it used to be. Especially for me, I'm cool with everybody. I don't care where you're from. It's just how you coming at things, you know. And if somebody's trying to make the world a better place and unite these hoods instead of, you know, stop wars and call truces and get people out here handing out food together, then I'm all for it. So yeah, that's just a preview. I talked to him. He agreed to do it, but we're just kind of waiting until he gets a little bit better. Probably a few weeks. So yeah, I guess you want to move on from this because this is depressing.
Yeah.
I mean, this is what I went through my whole life, basically. Losing friends, losing family, losing people to some BS. And in my case, sometimes the police openly mocked. When they catch us on the streets, they be like, oh, yeah, that's great news, your homie's dead. He was a menace. We hated him. You know, they say stuff like that back in the day just to rile us up and try to get us to want to do something so they could arrest us or search us or whatever, you know?
Yeah, those are tactics that were born in military. You know, and again, this is a byproduct of so many street cops having been grunts in the U.S. Army. And, you know, they don't even have to train them to do that shit. That's already done by the federal government with your tax dollars. You know? So, I mean, they have a model of, well, I mean, police are corporations. I mean, when you see statistics like New York City's police force on its own is in the top 10 standing armies in the world, just by numbers. So, you know, I mean, it's just like the military contractors. And, you know, I think people need to look around a little bit more about what the other side of 21st century policing is in the United States. Everybody knows that same small circle that always ends up being on the board of this corporation, and then, oh, they're over here now. And they move around, they're never out of work, and they make a fucking killing. People need to look at who are either police chiefs or commissioners or on oversight boards. These people move around the country too. And there's just not enough attention paid to that side of it. And it's not an accident, you know? It's just another corporate industry that's only concerned with revenues and protecting their brand.
Protecting their brand and serving their bosses. Because they ain't protecting and serving us, man. Not at all.
It's just a different method. You know, I mean, in some ways, I don't see big urban police forces any differently than I look at Amazon. It's the same shit, just different environments.
Yeah.
and different protocols, but they're both made for the same reason: to be everything from everyone and make as much fucking money as possible.
Yeah, and I don't think it could be reformed. I know that's what these pigs keep saying, but it can't. You can't, can the KKK be reformed?
Well, we've discussed...
No, for real. Can the NSM be reformed? I mean, can you just take these people and make them something good? No. They're garbage to begin with. They were founded on garbage. You got to destroy them and start something else. You got to just tear it down. It doesn't mean you don't have people with weapons to respond to crazy shit. It just means you don't have it the way it is. And you don't need people with weapons responding to every single little thing in the world. I get in a car accident, I got to file a report. I don't need an armed cop to come. There's a fire. I don't need armed cops to show up. Somebody needs to go to ambulance. They're having chest pains or something. I don't need an armed cop to show up. You dig what I'm saying? Mentally ill people having, unarmed, flipping out, ready to fight. We don't need armed cops showing up. We just don't need that.
That's market domination in another environment. That's exactly what that is. Again, the cops are just an armed Amazon to me. Because, the cops bitch about, the wear and tear on their members. We have to be social workers. We have to be this. We have to be that. Well, I don't see you guys turning down the budgets. They just, we'll do all these things because it's all pensionable hours.
I don't know if it was today or yesterday or sometime this week. I heard another person, suicidal. Someone called the police. The police came and shot him. This happens so often. It's just disgusting. That's the kind of shit we don't need.
Well, I mean, we touched on it before too. Okay, Derek Chauvin. Oh yeah, Derek Chauvin. Well, what's changed? There's still innocent people getting killed all the time. Nothing's changed. But yet it doesn't seem to be at the level of discussion that it was before Chauvin got convicted. And how many people who are convicted of a homicide necessarily have that long between verdict and sentencing? Just...
It depends who they are, too.
Yeah. But I mean, I don't know who's reading the room. Are they just trying to make sure nobody really gives a shit of what he gets sentenced to when it finally comes along? I think it's in July, isn't it?
I believe so, but you never know. They might even push that back. Well, we do have a little bit of good news, which is followed by extremely bad news. Netanyahu is gone. And what's the guy's name? Bennett?
Yeah.
An even worse fascist is going to move on in. Oh. I'm sorry. I was just looking for things going on Twitter, and I seen Netanyahu, and I said, "Oh shoot, we didn't talk about that too much. We don't need to talk about it. I just don't know. Everybody might not have heard the news."
Well, the guy couldn't win majority on his own in 4 elections in the last 2 years.
For real.
He's in the courts nonstop now in Israel. There's a lot of talk about he should be in jail for racketeering and fraud and taking advantage of his position.
Do you think that'll ever happen, though, for real?
Well, I mean, this is the thing. Is just him finally losing his job that he really hasn't democratically earned for years. Is that all that's going to happen to him? or are they actually going to do something about them? You know, and I think the way the coalition led by Bennett has acted in its first 10 days, 2 weeks, they could give a shit about him. He's out. That's all they wanted. They don't care. So if
Yeah, but he still
off
has
this,
powerful friends in the U.S. and other places.
well, yeah, that's just it. If he skates on this, I would basically consider him still being part of the government decision process then. You know, this is like the chairman of the board that had to resign, but, you know, he's chairman emeritus now.
Yeah.
You know, it's just, it stinks, man. But what do you expect? It's Israel. You know,
Speaking of... Oh, go ahead.
Well, there's no other country that says it's a democracy and behaves less like one in the world, except maybe the United States.
Yeah.
Just, you know, just a Canadian's thought, eh?
Speaking of the United States and the fascists, did you see Biden's new anti-terrorism initiative?
No, I actually consciously tried to avoid it.
Wow. I'm going to see, let me just tell you what it's on here. Let me look this up real quick. Hang on. Okay. Biden's new anti-terrorism initiative classifies anarchist violent extremists that oppose all forms of capitalism, corporate globalization, and governing institutions which are perceived as harmful to society, and we are now looked at as domestic violent extremists. And it goes further than this. I don't know, because I've been talking about this for a while, but every time now they bring up somebody, one of these right-wing Nazis, I mean, the people in the riot or insurrection or whatever you're calling it, Capitol riot, insurrection, they were not anarchists. They were there to install a dictator. They wanted to overthrow whatever government just got elected, however crappy our elections are, and overthrow it and install a dictator. That's not an anarchist. They're calling the Bundys anarchists now. They're calling every right-wing person anarchists, and they've been doing it for a while. So now we have both sides saying if you don't agree with the government and you feel like the people could rule their own lives, then you're a terrorist, right?
That is one of the...
go ahead.
That's one of the last stage propaganda messages you'll get from a country that is going fascist in a hurry. Now it's either the government, whoever makes it up, just the monolith.
Well, the thing I think it is
the state is what you must believe in. Otherwise, you're against the state.
Yeah. But I think it's like the Republicans are cool with being fascists. They don't really care. So they could be like anti-fascist or terrorist. The Democrats are still pretending to not be fascists. Because there's just the difference between the parties are, you almost got to be religious to give a damn, you know? I don't know why Republicans don't cheer Biden on and Democrats don't cheer Trump on. It's just the same thing without the racist rhetoric. And like we said before, the Democrats will throw you a little bone here and there sometimes. But the Democrats haven't gone so far as to say they're fascists yet. They don't want to admit that, so they can't really call anti-fascist the terrorist, boogeyman, evil guy, so anarchist is the next best thing. But there's a whole lot of anarchists that are anti-fascist. And yes, there are some fascist anarchists too. But the way they're doing it is just straight propaganda. Like the worst people in the world are anarchists. And when I talk about it, they show people raiding the Capitol in the background, or they show the Bundys, or they show some right-wing extremists. they're calling the Boogaloo to whatever them Nazis are. Nazis aren't anarchists. If you want a white supremacist government, you're not an anarchist.
But again, if you go back in history, it may be in a language other than England, but this is common. There was, in 1930s Germany, it was very common for the National Socialist media to paint out their people who were getting arrested or beat up or thrown in prison. They were fine with calling them anarchists as well, because that's the illusion it gives, somebody who's against all authority. And there's a natural sort of sympathizing with that, instead of coming out and saying which dogma they support. It's more hiding in plain sight shit, which is going on more and more all the time.
Yeah, I'm like at my wit's end. I don't know what to do, man. I was talking about it yesterday with some people. It just is, it's just, I don't know. I go out and film police. I'm trying to get my camera situation back right, but I still do that when I come across it with my phone or my DSLR or whatever, like I used to. But the whole protest thing, it's just like, there's very few people out there right now. And the last few things I've been at have been total infighting. The last time I think I talked about it, it was in front of the police and they were laughing at these people and they were fighting over, well, one group was fighting protecting a pedophile and the other group was saying he's got to go. It had nothing to do with anything, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Get rid of the pedophile. How hard is that? It's stupid, man. It's so much infighting, so much BS all the time. People are worried about all the wrong stuff out there.
Well,
if you out in the streets, I'm going to say this again, and people could argue or whatever. If you are out in the streets in front of a police station or anywhere in downtown LA at a protest, why the hell are you worried about cameras? You should be covered up. You should take care of masking your identity because the pigs have cameras, the buildings have cameras. Y'all worried about you got people going around with umbrellas blocking. Block the police cameras. They're never doing that. It just seems odd to me. You know what I mean?
And the
I don't
thing
be blocking
is,
my
too,
cameras. I had people talk shit before. I don't care. You out here and the police is filming you, all the buildings is filming you. I'm not even focused on you. I'm focused on the dang police. You know what I'm saying? But they're not watching the police coming around the corner, setting people up, trying to kill people. They're worried about little minor stuff. Oh, go do this, go do that. Everybody wants to be a boss and telling other people what to do and stuff. Man, control yourself. It used to be we go out there, hundreds of people. Police want to talk to somebody. We be like, yeah, who are you going to talk to? There's no leaders here. You want to find out what everybody's doing, you talk to everybody individually, and whoever's willing to talk to you, they'll tell you what they're going to be doing. It's just too, I don't know, man. I want to figure this out. I want to get back out there. It's just, that really stresses me out when the people are fighting amongst each other. And that's nothing new, but it's like, come on now. Then you got people talking about shooting other people to protect a pedophile. What kind of scum are you? But I don't know. Yeah, it's just I gotta figure it out for myself because I don't like the drama, man. I like to go out there and look powerful. Have a lot of people, or even if it's a few people, dedicated people. And it's frustrating, man. It's frustrating. It used to be frustrating. You go out there and it'd be a few people. Now you be frustrated. There's a whole bunch of people and they all want to fight and do stupid shit. or march and scream how nonviolent they are. It's like, God dang, come on, y'all. It just seems a lot of people do it more for the media now. Like we're trying to do things and show off for the Instagram, and so people think this or that. Don't worry what people think. Just do your thing. Worry about what the people there is thinking, because those are the people that matter.
And once again, we have definite proof that as time goes on, Marshall McLuhan is still more correct than ever. The medium is the message.
Yeah, I guess, but it's like, then I've had the issues of, if I go off on a police, I got somebody telling me, don't say that. That's so horrible. I want to fight with the Nazi. Everyone's, why are you so violent? You're worse than them. It's like, come on. Then I got people that literally tell me, like, when I'm around, pretend like you don't know me if the police is around.
Yeah, but in this post-truth world and the internet and the accessibility, you can find an echo chamber for anything you believe in. You just have to look. So, I mean, there's far too many people in the world that can have an opinion, and they found 4 people in a week that agree with them. Well, then that's it. They're right. They're not changing their mind.
I don't know. I just know last time when all the cameras went off and everything, we was trying to keep stuff going, and other people seem to be trying to slow it down.
Well, I mean, you can go back to Occupy. This is how so many Occupy camps quickly turned into a bunch of arguing shitheads. And, I know the one in my city, the person who somehow assumed they were in charge, is now a very media-savvy spokesperson for Greenpeace Canada. So, I mean, there was other things going on right from day one. And, it happens everywhere. And the more groups there are, the more concepts there are, the more protests there are, the more there are going to be assholes who try and use that protest to further themselves. That's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, another thing happened with, I'm not going to say nobody's name here either, but there's a person I think is pretty awesome, and they suffered a lot, and they're out there, really doing the most and getting people out there. And then now they want to be a politician. And it sucks, because now it's like, dang, you was powerful. Now nobody's going to trust you, and eventually you're going to end up like the rest of them, man. I mean, you can't go into politics without, what's the purpose? I want to go into some corrupt stuff to either you're going to say a bunch of stuff and they're going to get mad and kick you out, or you're just going to turn corrupt. That's there's no use. I don't understand these people that try to get into the politic part of it. It's I don't think you could do any good there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, you look at these squad people. They were so brave, and they said what this and that, and then like as soon as they're in there, they're backtracking everything they said, and they're definitely not doing anything. You know what I mean? And eventually, you're gonna have more people like all the other people up in there, all the other scum in Congress. I mean, even city council, it's the same. I don't know, man. I just wish people would realize politics is not the way to go.
Well, I mean, I don't understand why people look at the U.S. House of Representatives anyway. It's the largest elective body in your whole country. If you think you're going to be able to make change there first, you are sadly mistaken. That is a fixed process game. Nobody comes in there and upsets the fucking apple cart and changes the way shit is done. It's just not allowed. Forget it.
Even local politics, it's the same thing, man. You can't do anything. You got police unions, you got all these entities, Rotaries, clubs, whatever, rich people, billionaires. You can't get nothing done in politics. You have to scare the crap out of the politicians. You have to make valid threats. No justice, no peace. You see what I'm saying? That's real.
Yes, and that's a power that the masses will always have. But
we don't have the masses. The Democrats are so happy right now. Oh, the second coming, Biden's back again, and everything will be wonderful. We're saved. So there's no, you lose all these people that hated, they're cool with everything they hated under Trump. They're all good with it now. And I hear all the Trump people, they're flipping out about everything. Hunter Biden, Hunter Biden, Hunter Biden. Oh my God, he's selling paintings. What are we gonna do? Those aren't really paintings. They're access to the president, disguised as paintings. I'm hearing all this crap, man. It's like whatever. But y'all wasn't screaming about the corruption of Trump. Why don't you scream about corruption across the board? Just like the Biden people won't scream about Biden's corruption, racism, lies, BS, 41 years of racism and fascism. They don't bring that up, but they'll go off on Trump. Trump people won't bring up any of his stuff and go off on Biden.
Well, again, this is a product of the post-truth world because,
and
like I said,
stupid.
It's just, yeah, it is stupid. But, it's what's making money. That's the bottom line. I mean, it's ridiculous how uninterested corporate media is in information. They're simply, that's the easiest way I can describe it. They're not interested in what's really going on in a lot of things because they don't care. And they don't think it's going to appeal to the correct demographics that their new national sponsor is looking to entice. I mean, this is what's wrong. Everything is made. Nothing is scribed, very little.
Yeah, you know what it is? It's the Proud Boys and all these Nazi groups and all that. They're all cool with the military and the police. That's what they cosplay as. That's what they LARP as. That's what some of them are and used to be, right?
Yep.
So ultimately, they're on the Biden's got them in his pocket already. They just don't even know it. We're the problem. The ones that ain't going to bootlick everything. Because they can say whatever they want, but they don't have a problem with concentration camps filled up with immigrants because they was loving it. They was loving it. They wanted to go murder them at the border, the Trump people. So pretending you have a problem with Biden locking people up is just a joke. Biden's people are the same way in reverse. They were so, oh my God, the children, the babies, let's go do massive protests that get nothing done. Let's go cry on the border. And now that they're people in charge, the ones doing it, it's like, oh yeah, let's not talk about it right now. Give Biden a chance. You haven't given him enough time. You can't just close down concentration camps overnight, right?
Except for closing them down overnight.
Yeah, it's a fucking joke, dude. It's disgusting. It's ridiculous. And these people are all a bunch of hypocrites. And that's the problem. I don't know what to do anymore, man. I tell people to get out in the streets. Nobody get out in the streets. And when they do, it's for stupid stuff. It's because they don't like some guy or some party. Because as soon as their party's the one doing the same atrocity, they're like, oh, well, why would I want to go protest? Then you got the Nazis out protesting the stuff they support. Makes no sense. You know who their new hero is, Glenn?
No.
There's this little racist 9-year-old girl. Did you hear about her?
No.
She's been all over right-wing radio and media. She's like the new hero because she was walking through. This is horrifying, everybody. So I don't know. If you got kids in there, you want to take them out when you hear what she saw. She was walking through the hallways of her school, and she saw a Black Lives Matter poster. And oh my God, that was the worst thing she's ever seen, because it means her school was with, what did she say? Burning, looting, and rioting and killing or something, right? And then she went to give a big speech at the school about how she can't trust her school because there's supposed to be no political things. They said Black Lives Matter, and she's not with burning, looting, rioting, and killing people. And she said something about, let me look this up, something about the so-called election. Biden's the winner of the so-called winner of the election. She's just some QAnon little girl that parent fed her all this crap.
Well, does she actually exist?
Oh, yeah. Minnesota girl 9 slammed school board for violating its own ban on political posters, displaying BLM posters and photo of young POTUS. Oh, and that girl who spoke at Biden's inauguration, they had a picture of her up. Yeah, she gave some big speech, and that's the talk of the town in the right-wing world right now. How brave she is. She showed her hatred of black people to the whole world. Her parents are so awesome for training her to hate like that. I don't know. They don't say it like that, but you know what I mean.
Well, the only thing I'm thinking is like how completely fucking irrelevant that all is. Like, who cares, man?
Well, I'm just saying, these people are the blatant racists. They take people. Some little kid does something racist. They put her up on a pedestal, like, yay. So you think she's not gonna be a sick person as she grows up? She's being rewarded for being a horrible person now, and she's only 9 years old. Then you got these other people that are sending her death threats, and these are the Democrats, and telling her that she needs to shut up and go away and all this. According to them, I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that's true. I mean, that's how it works, right?
It's all just garbage. None of it matters. People wasting their time.
Another little girl said her teacher was basically trying to promote religion, and she's been on the news. They had to move their family, from what I heard, because they were getting death threats from their neighbors.
Oh yeah. Does anybody report on if the house was for sale, or they're renting, or how much money they made, or
I think the dude is a pretty big YouTuber whose daughter did that, and I think he might make some good money. But they had to leave their house that he lived in for a long time because they were getting death threats because his daughter went against some Christian teacher. That's what I'm saying. It goes both ways. But these people, how your kid gonna say Black Lives Matter is the worst thing she's ever seen, and she can't stand it, and how is that there? And I don't know. This whole thing has become stupid. It's a joke. Why doesn't that if that little girl hates black people that much, why doesn't she support Biden Harris? Trump hates black people, Biden Harris hate black people. So you basically have the whole spectrum from blue to red. Vote for whoever you want. Pick whoever you want. I just don't understand bashing a dude that's going to do the same thing as your dude that you're uplifting. It doesn't make sense. So sick of these people. They got me so confused. I don't know what to do anymore.
Whatever, man. This is just more professional wrestling in real life. It's no different.
Yeah, but it affects the streets. You know what I mean?
Well, because that's how much appeal and market penetration this shit has. That's why.
Oh, you know what we forgot to bring up with the police? I know I'm jumping back and forth. Did you know the entire Portland police crowd control unit resigned? They resigned from the crowd control unit, not from the police force.
Yeah, there's that. And then there's also new evidence that I think in the last 16 months, something like almost 120 Portland cops have quit or retired.
Nice. Do you know why they resigned though?
No, they're not really saying that
Oh,
at
yeah.
this point. They're just
are.
giving money.
They resigned a day after a grand jury in Oregon indicted an officer, one of their fellow officers, for allegedly using unlawful force on a protester. So basically, they're like, if we can't break laws and break people's necks, we don't want this glorified position that pays us a little bit more money.
Nope. Well,
We're rich enough without it.
Yeah, we'll move to, Texas or Arizona, and we'll get a job there or whatever.
No, they didn't even quit their jobs. They're still pigs. They just aren't on that one unit, the protest unit or whatever.
Yeah, well, that's not leaving the force. I'm talking about leaving the force.
Oh, the other ones, yeah.
So there's
just go to a more, just
120
go to
cops that just left.
Well, I mean, if you let right-wing radio tell it, there was a cop on there today almost, oh, we're not bad people. We do so much and we love so much and they just hate us and blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, dude.
Yeah, it sounds like exactly what Ernst Röhm was telling German media after the beer hall putsch.
And you know what the reason for this was? Because I don't remember where he was from or whatever. Because they are going to put, they don't call it the Blue Lives Matter flag anymore. They're going to put the thin blue line flag on everything they have now.
Good for them.
Because it's totally not racist. It's totally not a slam to Black Lives Matter.
Whatever.
Yeah, these pigs gotta go.
Well, it does look like in something that popped up a few days ago in California, it's some private policing seems to be creeping in now and then. But the story is it was in outside of Oakdale in Stanislaus County. There was a protest about George Floyd, and there was a group of armed men wearing military gear and carrying rifles that were kind of on patrol near where the protest was. So people phoned the cops, Oakdale Police Department, and they showed up, and they basically, their statement was, "We want to set the record straight. The group wearing military attire were not members of the U.S. National Guard, and they had no affiliation with the Oakdale Police Department or any of our partner agencies. The group did not contact our department prior to their arrival." So once the cops got there, and it's like, hey, wait a minute. You're not us. Who are you? They were hired by a business to provide security while the George Floyd protest went on.
It wasn't there like 30 or 40 of them? It wasn't just like a couple of them, right?
It was a platoon. Definitely. The cops go on to say the group was not welcome by our police department. Once we learned of their presence, we immediately approached the group and advised them that their presence was doing more harm and raising tensions. We also told them we did not need their assistance. I find that funny. The cops are like, hey, wait a minute. We're the ones that wear body armor and carry fucking rifles around here, not you guys. So they left. They left this business. But then after that, there were pictures showing up on social media that the same group were armed on public property and were harassing people. And that was reported in the Modesto Bee. And they said after the militia left Oakdale, they had moved on and done this. Said, regarding the open carry law, people cannot stand in public areas while openly armed. And he says,
But they were allowed to do so.
Well, when they talked to him the first time, they were on private property because they were hired by this business.
Yeah, I've been around when the cops tell Nazis not to bring weapons or go put your weapons in the car, and they walk down the street and turn around and go somewhere else and still have their weapons, and the cops just stand there. And if they get in trouble, the cops go protect them. It's just dumb, dude. Imagine if there was some black business owner, a bunch of Proud Boys were like going to come down there and they were like, oh man, let me call my homies up to come dressed up like soldiers with a bunch of guns, except they're all black dudes. What do you think the police would have done?
These dudes were reported to be members of the Echo Company 2nd Infantry Regiment, California State Militia.
That's some super LARPing right there.
That is ultra LARP.
That's like the epicest, the most epic LARPish LARPing. They even try to sound official with it. Why don't they just go to Comic-Con? You know what they should have? They should have a military con where all these jackasses go and just load themselves up with guns and cosplay military and cop all day. Get it out their system so when they come back in the street, they can just act normal. Maybe we'll have some accidents, over there, and we'll get rid of some of them while we're at it. I don't believe you could have that many idiots with guns LARPing together without somebody getting shot.
Well, the general public response, especially from business owners, was like, what the fuck is this? So, the police, actually, the Oakdale police have kind of bent over backwards trying to fucking pacify everybody on this one. Our department takes the matter seriously, figure, and is currently reviewing the group's actions and will assess what measures will be taken. Let's be clear, we do not need militia groups in Oakdale to help Oakdale PD do our job. If we need assistance, we will call on our partner agencies. We will not tolerate any groups intimidating our community or causing problems. So, it just goes to show that this is just like we saw at the Capitol, when you have military veterans and policemen attacking the Capitol Police. We're going to have the same thing here in urban areas. These armed militias start showing up unless it's a complete partnership. There are police departments going to say, no. We're the ones that get away with that shit, not you. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's just what they said officially, too.
True.
And cops probably was nice as nice could be to them.
Yeah, in private, they're probably saying, why did you guys get fucking video put online of you hassling people after we told you to leave? Like, what the fuck?
And you got to realize, they wouldn't have cared except businesses were calling up asking why National Guard was outside. I mean, that's how they were dressed. They looked like some kind of military team in Iraq.
Yeah, and calling themselves the state militia, which is, whatever.
I mean, this is California. Did the cops check all their guns to make sure everything was legit, legal, and up to, no clips bigger than they supposed to have? Nothing pinned or modded the wrong way? I mean, because I got a homie who's a security guard, and the cops was over there harassing him for like 30 minutes over his gun he had the legal right to carry. Even once he showed them all the paperwork and everything, they still took the gun and ran the numbers. But, he's a black dude.
Yeah.
And then he's like, well, they were cool in the end. I was like, man, come on. You could have showed them that. They could have left. They had to run everything. They ran you. They were checking you for warrants. They searched you. They took your gun. Did they do that to these cats?
Nope.
Yeah. Wonder why.
And they still haven't named the owner of whatever business that hired these fuckers.
Oh, they
Interesting.
didn't? I thought they named the business, though.
Oh, not that I saw. Not in what I read.
Oh, maybe I was wrong. Oh, I wonder if I could even find that.
Oh, maybe it's been updated. I don't know.
No, I don't even know when I forgot about it until you brought it back up today as a topic. I was like, oh, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, they wouldn't say the guy's name. Why not?
Yeah, exactly. Why not?
I mean, he's so proud. He hired all these LARPers to come over there and be ready to kill black people.
Maybe his brother's a captain on Oakdale PD. I mean, you know.
Yeah, there's a reason for that.
Oh, yeah, there's got to be. If it was somebody that they didn't give a fuck about, I'm sure we would know who it is. You know, because if you're going to hire people to try and do our job, we got no problem with creating a boycott on your business. Fuck you. So there's got to be a reason we're not hearing. But we'll see. Maybe eventually.
Yeah. Sheesh.
But that's funny, you know, because here we've got a police department that is like defending their exclusivity to commit violence against the citizens because, you know, we've got a monopoly here and it ain't open for negotiation. And then I also looked at something this week. This is actually an update in the LA Times. You remember when District Attorney George Gascon got in, he sent a request to agencies across LA County. More than 40 agencies have not yet provided his office because he wanted lists from everybody. Remember when that report came out about these cops lie every time they're in fucking court and everybody knows it?
Yeah, they got huge petitions to recall him. That's what they're hoping. They'll get him out of office before the cops have to comply in transparency. I'm guessing.
That does make sense because only 6 have given their lists of offers who are basically disciplined for wrongdoing.
Yeah, I'm realizing the West Side, like Venice and West LA, they're becoming the new Orange County if they aren't already. Just full of fascists, really racist, Nazis. I seen a big giant "Don't Tread on Me" flag over there the other day. It's the same place I saw the swastikas graffitied on. Same place I seen that big old Trump Nazi rally a couple weeks ago. Yeah, that place is turning really bad. They got all these things. I mean, the graffiti goes up talking about Biden is responsible with arrows pointing to homeless people. It's or encampments. There's this thing under the bridge now. There's one of these jackasses put "the residents love our police."
Oh, fuck.
Yeah, like it's really, really, they got all these flag posters going up and like every kind of really right-wing thing you can imagine just popping up around there. Clean up the park. We want to get rid of the homeless people. They got the sheriffs down there now ready to lock 2,000 people in cages. I warned you all under Trump. I'm warning you all under Biden. They're going to start putting homeless people in concentration camps, detention centers, whatever you want to call them. They're not going to be free. And I don't mean like a shelter not being free. I mean they're going to be locked up. And a lot of people just think that's great. Well, let's see how great you think it is if something goes wrong and you lose your job and you end up over there.
Yep.
You know, or somebody you know. The good news is they're extending the eviction moratorium because I thought it was going to be over with in a few days. But and I'm hearing rumors. I'm not sure how true it is that the state is going to pay all the back rent so nobody gets evicted. I don't believe that 100%, but we'll see. If it does happen, that's awesome. That's super awesome. That's what needs to be done.
And again, like I said, $76 billion state surplus. Like, they fucking pay everybody's rent for 2 years and they still have money left over.
Yeah, but police need money, man. Come on, we might need that later.
Taxes
to some cops.
can pay for police.
What?
You know, taxes should pay for the police, not surplus money. I mean, this is the
They
thing.
take donations, dude. These pigs is just begging all the time. They're like a televangelist in that way. Give us more.
Ridiculous. But it's interesting, too, on which law enforcement agencies in LA County have complied and which ones haven't. Yeah, real surprising.
Yeah, which ones haven't? Most of them.
Yes. Oh, yeah, it's the overwhelming majority. But
that's not surprising.
The LAPD has complied. And there are because what they're calling this are Brady files. And this all started when a federal DA took office in Philadelphia and found boxes of evidence that had never been shared with defendants in cases. Is basically all secret evidence. And it was all about cops that lie, that plant evidence. Just all kinds of it. So that started this up across the country, but there are still a number of police departments in LA County that don't have a Brady list. They don't keep a record, an official record of which of their officers lie and cheat and which ones don't. So, they're obviously having a little trouble complying with that request. But, LAPD doesn't have an official Brady list either. But they still were able to come up with it and submit it. So I find it a little interesting that the LAPD, who over the last 40 years especially, has only had a reputation go from bad to worse. But yet they're going along with this. But the fascist force of the day, the LA County sheriffs, are not. And something else I found reading this, LA County Sheriff actually has more officers than LAPD. That blew my mind.
Well, they have a bigger jurisdiction, right?
Wow. That's just crazy.
You know what it's time for? It's time for a radio drop. But we didn't hear it. Why didn't we hear it? Because I had it muted, Glenn, that's why. I don't even know where it is. So never mind the radio drop. I got everyone excited for no apparent reason.
People's Radio United. People's Radio United.
There it is. I gave it to y'all twice.
There it is. So, I mean, in Los Angeles County, from what I can figure out here, there's somewhere between 45 and 60,000 cops.
Yeah.
Wow.
That sounds...
That's
insane.
A lot of them. That's. I mean, I understand. In the same region, there's 15 million people? I don't know how many people are in LA County altogether.
Yeah.
But I mean, still, that's a lot of
I think there's
cops.
some formula. It's a cop for so many people. I don't know how it works out. I remember looking it up a long time ago, and I don't really remember. But there's some kind of quote-unquote logic they have behind it that makes sense to them.
Wow. Well, it just sounds like way too many, man. Way.
I mean, but I think one is way too many, right? I just want the powers of Mr. Nimbus.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So just for background, why it's called a Brady file is because in 1963 in the U.S. Supreme Court, Brady versus Maryland, the decision was handed down that when prosecutors have evidence that favors defendants, they are supposed to turn it over. So that's why police departments have a Brady list. So if you got caught lying, you're on the Brady list. But I mean, there's lots of them.
We should say, if you got caught lying, you're a member of the Brady Bunch.
So besides the LAPD, it's Arcadia, Cal State Northridge, Covina, Culver City, and El Monte are the ones who have given it up. That's it. Now, there's 12 agencies that said they have nobody with Brady material.
I mean, they gave up what they wanted to give up.
That's true.
That's the way I look at it. I don't see that as any great thing, really, in my opinion.
No, but it's a different message they're sending.
Yeah.
That's, but I mean, there's Baldwin Park, Beverly Hills, Burbank, Cal State Dominguez Hills, El Segundo, Monrovia, San Fernando, San Marino, Sierra Madre, Torrance, Vernon, and UCLA all say they have no cops with a Brady file. How believable is that?
UCLA is terrible police. They be all over the place. I don't even know what they doing. I guess the campus owns a lot of properties or something.
Wow.
But they be like under the bridge going through people's bicycles looking for stolen bicycles all the time.
Brutal. So, I mean, that makes a lot of sense to me that's what the recall Gascon thing is all about. Yeah, that makes sense now.
Yeah, it's gaining traction from what I see.
Had any new crackpots declare they want to be governor, or just nothing's changed?
I don't know, man. I think a lot of people, you wouldn't believe it, I think a lot of the Republicans like Caitlyn Jenner now. Because I don't know, do you know that most Republicans, really one of their main focuses is women's sports, and it always has been? Like, they love women's sports, evidently, because they seem to care so much. And Caitlyn Jenner went along saying we shouldn't have trans people in sports. So they were like, yes, we love her. We love her. She's so great.
It's, it's just
they
more
really,
noise.
really care about that. That's like one of the things they really care about. I don't know why. It just started not that long ago, but yeah, they're really into it.
Yeah, but she wants to be elected as a Republican. So, that's all that matters to most of those people.
I brought up to one person, why don't they just do it by weight? That's silly. I mean, does that make sense? Like, they do it with boxing and stuff. Like, if you weigh this much, you're going to play against people that weigh this much. I mean,
no idea.
And athletes are athletes. They train for this stuff. But they somehow believe a man would win every time. If we just put trans aside, just if you had like the same. And I say it depends on the sport maybe, and it depends on the person. So it's just, if you're going up against people the same weight and size class as you and they worked it all out, it just seems like why does it matter? Why does it have to be men and women's? Why not just say whoever goes? You're athletes, right? But that's just appalling, I guess, to the people the Caitlyn Jenner fans, I guess. But they're moving on. They don't care so much about women's sports anymore. Now they're starting to worry about the evils of teaching people about racism historically and systematically. critical race theory. That's what they care about now.
Well, I mean, that's anybody who really wants to find out what that pile of shit is about. It's very simple, and I've seen a few people say it on social media. If your child is being taught critical race theory in 2021, they are in university, and they are likely in second-year law.
Or sociology or something.
Yeah, but I mean, it's not happening in public education. It's just not, period. It's bullshit.
I mean, they're scared of the truth.
Yes.
I mean, like, they're scared of people saying, slavery was a horrible thing these people did, and genocide and slaughtering people to take their land is horrible. We should never repeat this in history. Why is that better than saying, putting people in concentration camps? And, well, they got to stop that too, because we're doing that more and more now. But, why is that different than saying any other historical thing is horrible and should never happen again? Genocide should never happen again. What they did to all these people throughout history, we don't want to ever repeat it. And this country did some of them. Why is that so hard?
Because Manifest Destiny is going to remain a myth of the Republic. That's why. They're just not going to change that. Not at this point in time. And
they on the same page. These people done the same thing forever, dude. If you look historically, you got these people right now talking about, these socialists, these black socialist Marxists, blah, 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 blah. They're going to destroy America. They're going to bring socialism. You know who they were saying? And then they'll be like, then they all invoke Martin Luther King Jr. and say, we want to judge somebody by their character, not the color of their skin, like Martin Luther King Jr. said. But back then, your ancestors were saying, he's a socialist, he's trying to destroy America. And then they killed him. So, yeah, you can't have it both ways. Because historically, you haven't changed your same tired-ass socialist this and that.
Well,
but they're never complaining about, oh my God, these banks and corporations are getting socialism with my tax dollars. The richest of the rich are getting free money with my money. No, they don't worry about that socialism. Just if a poor person gets it, oh my God. It's just a buzzword, and it's the same thing they've always used, man. They don't change. They don't change.
I don't know how anybody can expect anything different, because that's what popular culture has been telling generations of Americans, especially white Americans. Because, of course, that's what most everything was geared to anyway, just because. So, I mean, I actually listened to one of my episodes. It was in the last, I think it was the end of the last episode of season 11. And it was with a Canadian pollster named Frank Graves. And we were talking about the messages that are being used to drive wedges and push agendas have basically not changed in a century. And even sometimes the language used hasn't changed, but it's a new market every time it's brought up. It's just like that shit for brains Jordan Peterson. All he's doing is making word salad out of crap that was debunked 60 years ago, and he's feeding it to an entire new generation of wannabe alpha males. That's it.
Dude, how does he... I know a really smart person, like really smart. And this dude is just so sprung on Jordan Peterson. He's like, he's changed my life. Everything in my life has gotten better while I read and listen to him. I'm like, wow. I'm like, man. And then he's telling me, I'm telling him how he's like, you're just listening to You don't know what he's about because you don't really. I was like, man, you think I haven't looked into this? It's just like, how do people so intelligent get suckered into that?
The same way Anthony Robbins became a rich man.
Who's that?
Tony Robbins, one of the biggest telemarketers.
The positive speaking, motivational
Yeah.
speaker guy. Oh, yeah.
The same way, man. It's not like he had a bunch of poor people propping him up. There are lots of people with coin that became part of his cult.
But this dude's
So-
really like one of the more intelligent people I know. I mean, we don't agree on a lot of things, maybe, but he's still intelligent. He can use logic and reason and critical thinking. He just doesn't come up with the same thing I do sometimes. But he's not even that, you know. I don't know if he considers himself whatever, but he's not that like crazy right leaning. He doesn't even really like politics. He's more
But
into
that's-
philosophy and religion and literature, things like that. But it just blows my mind. That I just can't get over it. Like, how did that happen? How does this dude get that kind of influence over somebody that really should know better or be able to sort through the BS themselves?
Well, about the quickest one question you could ask is whatever person you're curious about, ask them what they think of Ayn Rand. And
Oh, yeah.
that answer should pretty much guide you.
That's true.
Because there's a definite, in the Venn diagram between Peterson and Randroids, there's definite overlap.
Randroids, I heard that before.
There's definite overlap.
Yeah, I can imagine. Wow.
But I mean, this is it. It's old shit. You go back to Edward Bernays, he's got, wherever he is, he's beaming, he's happier than hell. Because, it's a century ago that Bernays was creating the framework for modern advertising. And it's still really based off that. And, he was right. There's no doubt about it. Just like I said, Marshall McLuhan was right. It's not about what people are saying. It's what they're saying it on and how they get to say it,
And how it spreads, yeah.
The medium is the message. And you're fucked when that happens.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just crazy, dude.
Well,
Republicans are dumb. If they want to really do anything, all they have to do is have Trump say the opposite of what they want. Like if they wanted to end whatever, like if they wanted to say, like we want to teach religion in school, and that would be real easy to do. They just have to have Trump come out and say religion in school is horrible, and the Democrats be like, we want to teach religion in school.
No, I don't think that one would work that easy. No.
I think it would. They hate Trump that much, man. These people are dumb. I don't understand blue or red MAGA. They're both so problematic and so terrible. And neither one sees themselves as the villains they are.
No, but that's the format that's been laid out and cultivated and encouraged and profited off of. And it ain't going to change. I say that to people about Canadian politics all the time. Why do certain parties only attack? Why do certain parties only say it was their idea when it wasn't? This, that. Because it's working. They're not going to waste money on shit that nobody listens to. That's not how it works. They raise enough money. They hire people to find out what's going to work. If a campaign doesn't work, well, thanks for coming. See ya. They get somebody else. So, that's the thing. Everybody just thinks, how does this shit happen? Well, if you really
You know what
wanna
I don't see? I don't see any of these new snazzy politicians that are so awesome and for the people exposing the whole system just blatantly out there. Like, we're going to walk through here today and I'm going to show you what's happening. These cats take bribes from these people and just run it down. You know what I mean? You know why? Because they're in that same system now and they're going to profit from it. And you know whose expense that's going to be at? Not you, Glenn, but the people here down south of you.
Well, I mean, that's a definite tactic, yeah. But I mean, like the first term House reps, stuff like that. You don't have any room. I mean, you're basically going to get told what you're going to do on the Hill if you're a rookie House rep.
Yeah, but
if you're in majority or minority, you're the new kid. We're going to tell you if you get any committee seats. If not, you're going to hang around with this person and this person so you can learn your fucking job. You know, I mean,
you can make waves though.
And if you do, guess what happens? Do you ever want to have a sound clip for your re-election in 2 years with you standing in the House to make a statement? Or you want us to make sure that doesn't happen?
I don't know. I would suspect if somebody really went against the whole system, they could just go independent next time and have such a name they'd win, and some media would pick them up, and they get millions and millions of people seeing what's going on.
No, I can't see it because both parties would spend a ridiculous amount of money against you.
Yeah, they would put ads up and stuff. They couldn't shut you up though.
Well,
look at these wackadoos over there. They're getting away with whatever they want. The QAnons, they threatening people, walking in, putting up signs, making jokes. They doing whatever they want to do, man. You tell me you couldn't do that for the right reasons instead of just to make a spectacle? I think she's going to get reelected because she makes a spectacle. What's her name? The crazy one. Well, there's a lot of crazy ones, but the QAnon one. Marjorie Taylor Greene. There it is.
Yeah.
I think she's going to get, I think the people love her. The crazy wackadoo, I mean, the people in her area that are insane, who are probably the majority right there. They're like, yeah, she's making waves and she's not even doing anything. Imagine when the other ones did something like that, but for the good of the people.
It's not mentioned enough that she got her seat in Congress with no Democratic challenger. People need to remember this. She didn't really beat anybody. She just won over, a Klansman and some Bible thumper, probably. That's about it. There was no Democrat on her ticket against her.
The right-wing media loves her, though.
Well,
and
sure,
the left-wing media pushes her up on a pedestal. They're like, oh, she's so horrible. She's the worst thing ever. We have to stop her, which makes her more powerful with them,
And that generates revenue.
Exactly.
And that's really what
I think she's going to be around a while. I could be wrong, but I really think she's going to be around a while because whatever nut job she represents, she's representing them.
Well, I think she has very quickly assumed the title of the most insane Republican woman in the House, which is a title. She's still got a ways to go, in my opinion, to equal Michelle Bachmann, but she's getting there in a hurry.
Yeah. I mean, I think these people just are doing what they think will push them with their base. That's what it is now.
Well,
I don't even think they believe she doesn't believe all that crap. I doubt it.
No, but the thing is you have to look at, especially as the midterms get closer, who's going to show up to rally with her? Where is she going to go and who is she going to rally with? This is the money trail. This is what's really important, I mean, yeah, she's insane. She gets a lot of media, but if she doesn't deliver in the ways she's supposed to deliver that we're not supposed to know about, it don't matter. If she doesn't follow orders when it matters, they'll make sure she doesn't win again. If you piss them off, you're done.
Yeah. I don't know. I just think if we had some politicians actually in there fighting for the people. I mean, where's this Bernie Sanders? What is he doing? Going with the status quo like always? Then he goes and talks like, oh, they should be doing this and this and this and this and this. What are you doing? Why don't you go throw a scene? Why don't you shut stuff down? Why don't you do whatever in your power to make this known? Show how corrupt they are. No. That'd be too much like right.
It's too hard to turn all the pages of those speeches with those mittens on.
Man.
So
they just windbags, man. Stop talking and start doing.
But again, this is a result of what everything has become, too. I mean, there was a time, and it's in my lifetime, where individual senators and individual members of Congress just simply were not celebrities. They weren't asked their opinion on every goddamn thing that happens. They didn't spout off in public about every goddamn thing that happens. Because it just didn't matter. Because people kind of understood that Senator who? Oh, he's one of 100. House member who? You know, at that time there was maybe 200 and some members of the House. And people took it in the right context. But now, somebody like Taylor Greene can become this media star despite being the biggest idiot in the fucking room.
Yeah, I think she's playing to her base. I mean, she's not a genius, obviously. I don't know if she's as crazy as she acts. I think she just knows her base is as crazy as she acts. I could be wrong. She could be a total nutbag, but I have a feeling some of them are just smarter and they know. I mean, I don't mean on an intellectually genius level. I mean, she just knows these people are idiots. If I do what they say, they'll vote for me, they'll give me money, they'll fund me, they'll do this and that.
Not only that, by getting all this national media, she gets to appeal to that demographic that is as crazy as she is, and she's a Republican, give to the Republicans.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that's the way I see it. That's her job for this term of Congress. She ain't going to write no bills. She ain't going to be giving no filibuster speeches. She's just there to be a garbage fire.
She's there to attract the loonies.
Yeah. And loonies have money too. And
definitely.
Loonies should donate to the Republicans.
There were people that, well, at least one woman took a private jet to the insurrection. I mean, these people some of them have a lot of money. So yeah, they want those donations.
Oh my God.
Plus they all give to those preachers, those crazy dudes. So those dudes got the money and they do it, you know. They donate to politicians.
Money.
Yeah. So yeah, is there anything else, or you want to get to the sponsor advertisements?
Yeah, it's time for sponsor. That's enough. Enough milieu.
There's the sponsor music, Glenn.
Want me to go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, nothing extraordinary. It's a reoccurring theme. It's just the mix today is really working well. Gorilla Glue 4 and Durban Poison. Amazing how much the taste changes when you put them together.
I know, we were talking about that before the show. Yeah, I'm still on this wax, man. This Viper cookies, and then on the flour it's SFVOG, San Fernando Valley OG.
Yep.
Both are pretty decent. Probably not as awesome as your blend, though.
Well, no, it's, doesn't matter on the big scale. As long as it's working for you, that's all you need.
Yep. Oh, wait.
People's Radio United.
There, we got it in like 4 times today.
There you go.
So now everyone knows who they're listening to. It's very important.
Say hi to the Pope.
Yeah. Oh, man, we had stuff to talk about him, but never mind. We should do This Week in Catholicism section on our show.
Oh, God. Ooh.
For real, dude, they always do something. They're always... Yeah.
Well, the government of Canada has pledged something like over $30 million to assist in doing ground radar at all residential schools. So it's going to come to the point where the Catholic Church is going to be globally embarrassed if they don't do something.
Yeah, they're used to it.
Yeah, they are. But this is going to be smelly in 2021.
I mean, the Catholic Church is a global embarrassment and always has been. So what are you going to do? Hey, Vatican, give up the gold. There's poor people suffering, you jackasses. So, yeah. We might have lost the Pope as if you were right there. I don't know, but whatever.
Oh, Pontifex knows the facts when he hears them. He just has his role to play. That's all.
Cool. So, yeah. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, all the billions upon billions of people that listened just now live. And we'll probably be back sometime within the next week.
Figuratively.
Yeah.